Once upon a time, in a place about 10 inches away from here, lived Parson, the loneliest man on planet Earth. Miles and miles of desert sand and somewhere around 1,001 cactuses are really the only things that are visible by the naked eye there. But Parson doesn't mind it, quite simply because he doesn't know any better. Nobody ever tells him what to do, who to love and where to look. But he is still a human being, and as you might have figured out yourself sometime in the past, the human brain needs entertainment. Now, there are two things that Parson is able to entertain his brain with. A beautiful, purple and lonely flower that grows and lives in the sand on his front porch. The flower is not just fun to look at, but even more fun to touch, and to lick the purple flower powder off your fingers is amazing. The magical flower powder makes Parson see and feel amazing things. And with miles and miles of pancake flatness around you, there are plenty of things to imagine. Every day, after finishing cactus breakfast, he licks the purple flower powder and looks around his imaginary city. Now, this is where the second way of brain entertainment comes into play. Every now and then, a lost newspaper with all sorts of news and pictures from the big city gets blown against his house. In a lucky month, 2, maybe 3 pages of a newspaper find its way into Parson's hands. Birchville skyscrapers restored by guardian angel, and I think that you can imagine what Parson sees the next morning. The Phantasma City, it's so different, but perfect, if only it existed in real life. A good amount of peaceful weeks go by as Parson continues to expand his city. How about a football stadium here and a rattlesnake jail there? Looking pretty good, Parson. There is one very big, massive, enormous problem though. The dry season. A motor can't run without fuel, and I'm not talking about Parson here, but about the flower. Parson can drink cactus juice, but the flower can't and needs crystal clear water. Today's walk through the city is shorter than ever before, and buildings suddenly start to disappear. The strangest part of all, there is another human being in a car slowly driving towards Parson. Parson, terrorized from head to toe, runs as more buildings start to disappear. He runs fast, but where to? His house that you can blow away with a fart? Crap, there seems to be no other option than to embrace the fear. Parson's heartbeat races with every inch that the car drives closer. All of his buildings have disappeared. Today's flower powder session is over, but the car is still there. This might be the first time Parson will have to speak in 20 years. The car stops in front of Parson. A friendly man steps out and offers Parson a ride to Birdville. As you might have guessed, Parson jumped into the car before I could even finish that sentence. Speaking turns out to be not that hard. After all, Parson is still a human being born with a voice. The driver just can't stop talking about how he became the best thumb wrestler in the world as they slowly drive into the city. The real city, it's so different but perfect. The driver wishes Parson luck and drops him off at a small park in the middle of the big city. What now? What to do? Who to love? Where to look? Why is there so much noise, and why are people talking to these black blocks of metal? Parson must be the only sane person here, but being sane also isn't that much fun right now. What? Someone just gave Parson a metal coin and a wink while talking to his black block of metal. I know what would make Parson happy right now. A good lick of beautiful purple flower powder. Parson looks around him to see if anything isn't actually different than his own city. All of a sudden, Parson's face lights up like a full moon in the darkest of nights. A flower store right behind him. Flowers with every color that you can imagine are there, waiting to be touched. Hell turns into heaven as Parson starts to lick all the flower powders. He runs through the city in a state of euphoria, waving to every car driver and smiling from ear to ear. Citizens stop talking to their blocks of metal and start running after Parson as soon as they see him. But not because of joy, but because of anger and fear for what Parson might do to them with his recklessness. "You crazy person! Go back to insane people land. Cuss you! Is what the others are saying to him. They are categorizing Parson without even knowing him. They are putting him in a box. Do you know what Parson, the loneliest man on planet Earth, does? Parson crawls into the box and flies up, above everybody else. He flies up so high that he can greet the birds and see his house. The house looks like an ant from up there. A smile, bigger than all the smiles that I've ever seen in my entire life combined, appears on Parson's face. He sees something in the far distance, floating parallel to himself. A cloud. He sees a cloud with enough raindrops saved up to quench the thirst of 1,000 beautiful, lonely, purple flowers.